Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me for Astrology in the News for February 28th, 2018. So, to start it off, we have Yogic Wisdom of the Day, brought to you by the late great Swami Vivekananda. All power is within you. You can do anything and everything. If you're not familiar with Swami Vivekananda, he was one of the original Indian gurus to bring yoga to the United States. So all power is within you. You can do anything and everything. So ladies, no more complaining. This is all within your power. So, Ryan Seacrest got pound me too'd. I mean, this is Ryan Seacrest, and I don't know if this is really accurate, because it's Ryan Seacrest. Let's take a look at his chart. Could not find a birth time for Ryan Seacrest, but taking a look at his dashas, this is pretty interesting. He has his Mars in Scorpio, and that is actually a fairly lusty sign, conjunct the north node of the moon. So, actually, all joking aside, this could actually be a true assessment. I'm actually going to believe the victim here because people that have Mars and Rahu conjunct, and this is also the eighth from the moon. So, yeah, this is probably if I would not suggest that anybody really date Ryan Seacrest because this guy's got to have a libido like a mofo. I mean, you look at Aries, so the moon is in Aries, and then Mars in the eighth house is really indicative of somebody that has a lot of sexual energy. Then, if you take a look at it, it's almost exactly conjunct Rahu, the north node of the moon. So yeah, this guy is ooh, he's so horny. I guess is the best way to describe it. So even if he's not guilty of this stuff, this man really has libido. I guess that's the best way I could put it. Other stuff about his chart: Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius, and then Saturn is in the sign, retrograde in the sign of Gemini. Nothing big there. Oh, okay. So then Venus and Sun and Mercury are all in the sign of Sagittarius, and right now Saturn is transiting his Sagittarius. So this could mean some difficulty for Mr. Seacrest. Now, and we take a look, he's also in the Mars, he's at the end of his Mars Mahadasha. So take a look at the Mahadasha. This is started in February 10th. He's in the Mars Moon Mahadasha, and you look at Mars, and it's the eighth house from the moon. So this could also represent scandals. Okay, so this is actually playing out just how it should in his chart, and then after that, it goes right into the north node of the moon Mahadasha Rahu. So yeah, Mr. Seacrest is in for a very interesting time. So will he overcome it? I don't know. I'm actually thinking that he's probably got a lot of energy. So check it out. Oprah will run if God tells her to. Oprah. Kevin needs a car. Kevin needs a car. And Kevin needs a car. Like and subscribe. It could happen. You never know. Oprah's chart is one of the most studied charts in astrology in general. So one of the highlights that people like to point to in her chart is she actually has a grand. She has in Western astrology she has a grand fire trine, but in Eastern astrology or in Vedic astrology it is a grand earth trine, which makes somebody very grounded and very outgoing. And one of the major features of her chart is Jupiter is conjunct Rigel, which means money, 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 money. Now I have my moon conjunct Rigel, and I looked that up, and basically Amelia Earhart has that, and she basically flew her plane into the ground. And so Charles Lindbergh also had it too. So I have not been in a plane, and I'm still waiting for my check in the mail. So it's not always accurate. Um, Other things that she has: Venus and Sun are almost exactly conjunct, which makes relationships rough. When the Venus is conjunct the Sun, it can show somebody that is generally alone in relationships. Let's see, and this is also that's also square her Saturn. And then the moon is in Scorpio. That is rough emotionally too. So Oprah probably went through a very difficult time with the Saturn transit through Scorpio when she was going through her sate last year. Geez, so she's out of that now, and I think she went through a lot of rough stuff in her life. But now, right now, she's going into her. Let's see, she's finishing up her Mahadasha, and her Mars is in the sign of Scorpio, which is it's in like a Sandhi, which means it's on the border, which means it's not super strong. But when she goes into Rahu is that's also kind of in a Sandhi aspect, and that is on the cusp of, it looks like, Capricorn and Sagittarius. And she's going to be going through a nodal return almost at the same time too. That Rahu Dasha is going to be coming up. Keep an eye on Oprah. She says that she doesn't want to run now, but around the end of 2019. Let's see. Don't be surprised if she suddenly changes her mind out of nowhere and gets aspirations. Also too, this is in the seventh house, so that's what we do is we kind of look to the 10th house. So you know what? Looking at this, her Jupiter's in the first house in her Navamsa chart here on the lower part, and then Venus and Sun are in the 10th house. So I think if she decides to run, she could very well win because she has a lot of powerful 10th house energy in the Navamsa chart. So yeah, that would be a pretty interesting thing. So if she is going to run, I think she's not going to announce until like around Christmas of 2019. That's probably my best guess. Anyway, moving on. Mr. Kushner. He has had his top secret security clearance revoked, and this is very sad for me because he was my inside man that was going to give me some information on some stuff. I mean, we had these in Phoenix, and now my Chinese lantern business is going to suffer horribly because I sell Chinese lanterns. It's a UFO joke. Let's look at his chart. People are like, move on. All right, so Mr. Kushner's, I do not have a birth time for him, unfortunately. He just recently came into the spotlight. So highlights of his chart, let's see, Mars is exalted, almost at the exact point of exaltation. Now, here's what you want to keep in mind. So his Mars is going to be at the point where Mars goes retrograde at the end of June, conjunct the South. Oh my God, check this out. He's also, I'm just going to see here, right here, he's also got the south node of the moon conjunct Mars, and Mars and the south node of the moon are going to go retrograde. Oh boy, and this is in the 12th house from the moon. This is going to be a very rough year for Mr. Kushner. Geez, yeah, he's got those are some funky aspects. And well, he's in his Mercury Dasha. Now, if he were in his Mars Dasha, that is going to mean a major, major life upheaval. But just by nature of transit, he's got a lot going on. Geez, and then Saturn too is working closer to, it's around his Venus, so he's probably having some difficulty in his relationship right now. Feeling a little bit alone. And then let's see, Saturn's going to be transiting the Sun not too long. Other than that, oh, this is interesting. His Jupiter and Saturn are exactly conjunct. That's pretty rare. So when Jupiter and Saturn are exactly conjunct, the way I like to see it is Jupiter is this very expansive influence, and Saturn is like a restricting influence. And this is in the sign of Virgo. So this is somebody who has been honed over time to be very particular about his details because he's always, like, how do I put it? He's always facilitating between wanting to take initiative, but then feeling like he needs to hold back. But what that can do over time is make somebody very particular, especially in that sign of Virgo. Let's see, Saturn and Jupiter are neutral to Mercury. And also, too, if you take a look at his chart, Mercury and Saturn are in a Parvatan Yoga, which means now they are in a 5-9 relationship with it. Because we don't know his exact ascendant, it's hard to tell which houses that they switch. But since they're in a 5-9 relationship with each other, that's pretty good. So if his ascendant is represented by either the 5th house or the 9th, I'm not his ascendant, but if this is like the 5th house, the 1st house, or the 9th house, that's a very good yoga. That's let's see, it's actually I forgot the name of the yoga off the top of my head, but hey, whatever, it's funny. So all right, everybody, Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe as usual. And of course, if you want to catch me on any of the other stuff or on my other social media, just click on the links below. And also, too, I'm on Periscope, and I'm going to be moving soon, and hopefully that my internet connection will get better, so my streaming capabilities will be better. And that's not just because I'm old and have a large prostate. So have a great night, everyone.